Over his 42 years living high in the rugged northern Rockies, Tom Orr's endured nearly every hardship Mother Nature can dole out.
Nancy and I don't take living here for granted at all. I mean, there isn't a day that I don't look at what we've got and say, wow, are you lucky?
But he's never faced a once-in-a-century pandemic before, one that spread across Montana, even reaching its remotest corners.
With this new COVID thing, it's just a strange deal, and we're just hoping we can pull through it, you know? Just trying to keep a little distance from everybody.
All right, cat box. We're gonna build a cat box here.
With the winter shaping up to be as unpredictable as ever, Tom's starting his season with a plan to get the most bang for his buck.
Bobcats are bringing a lot of money. They're about the only thing that's bringing lots of money on the fur trade.
For the last 4 years, Tom's been trapping with the help of his apprentice, Sean McAfee.
Look, that's a beaver under the ice. Nice one.
The pandemic has put this partnership on hold, leaving Tom to run his trap line alone.
Well, it's a real bummer not to be able to have Sean working with me. I'll have to pick up the slack, but I can do that.
All right. This is just some old scrap cedar.
Now 77 years old, Tom's not as mobile as he used to be, so he's aiming to trap smarter, not harder. A single bobcat pelt can bring in as much as $300 once Tom's worked it into crafts.
This wire here is where the bait will hang, so it'll be right in the middle of the box. And now there'll be a foot trap set at either end of it. So in order for the bobcat to get to the bait, he'll either have to step on the trap or over the trap. There's a good chance that he won't step over it. We're gonna use beaver meat for bait. All right. We've got it baited.
The hard part is the trek to reopen the 5-mile-long trap line around his home. A job that Tom's lately left to his much younger apprentice. The first run will tell if he still has what it takes to stand his ground in the mountains.
Here we go.
It's been a long time since I've run this line. And it's really hard on me because I'm so damn old, you know? But I've got the desire to still do it, you know?
So as long as I get my traps put out, you gotta have traps put out or you don't catch nothing. A good place close to a trail that the bobcats would travel on, a good dry spot like this to put the traps in. I'm gonna take this box right here. It's got bait in it. I'm gonna put a trap at each end and put bobcat lure in it so they'll smell it when they walk by on the trail. Well, I just chopped out a hole in all these pine needles. And then I'm gonna set the trap down into that hole, bury the trap in it. We're gonna put a stepping stick, they call this, right in front of the box. That'll make the cat step over it and right into the trap. This is what they call a cat attractant.
Bobcats have very poor noses, so you try to attract them with eye medicine, which is something shiny.
A cat walking off the trail would maybe see that glittering in the light, and they're so curious they come to stuff like that. Well, it is a Christmas ornament. And once they peek in there and see that meat hanging there, you got a good chance of catching one. There's all kinds of little tricks to the trapping trade that I've learned through all the years. This is actually a weasel trap.
All the weasel box is just a little square box, and it's got a nail that sticks out the back of it inside. Need some bait here. You hang a piece of meat on that nail, and you set a trap right in the entrance to the box. My weasels, when I'm done doing what I do to them, I can sell them for $100 a piece. We're gonna put this trap up on a tree for a pine marten. This is a killer trap. They'll go through it and hit that pin right there, and they'll clamp on them and it'll kill them. And they'll fall out of the tree, and they'll be hanging here up off the ground. All right, better keep going here. Wow, there's some wolf tracks. I didn't expect wolf tracks. They went across here and jumped across. That's close to the house, too. Wow. And I'm gonna put a trap in here, guys. This was just made last night. First thing we're gonna do is a little foam pad that sits underneath the jaw. I'm gonna put this in a plastic bag. Wolves are certainly the toughest thing in North America to catch. When you walk up to your trap with a wolf in it, yeah, make your eyes sparkle. We're gonna bury the trap right in the top of the snow here.
Highly intelligent, wolves are wary of anything that looks suspicious. So traps need to be concealed and carefully placed.
Quite often, the wolves, if they're hanging in the same area, they'll be back on that same trail and they'll step in the same tracks as they travel back and forth. Some people are catching wolves with ashes. We're gonna give it a try. The loggers up here, lots of times at the site where they're stacking the logs and stuff, they'll start a big fire. I've had these guys tell me, you come back to that fire 2 days later and it's full of wolf tracks. Something about the ash. Who knows why, but it'd be exciting to see wolf tracks headed toward it tomorrow when I go to check it.
Tom's got bobcat, weasel, marten, and now a wolf trap set and soaking until he makes the rounds again tomorrow. But for now, he has to get back to the homestead before dark.
Ooh. Ooh. I just blew my snowshoe out. I got a hole in my snowshoe.
The rawhide netting distributes the weight and prevents Tom from sinking into the snow with every step.
I still got a ways to go.
There's no quick fix, and with more than a mile to go, Tom's looking at a long walk back in wolf country.
I probably won't make it home before dark now. Homeward bound.
In Montana's thick darkness, Tom's limped his way to safety after a grueling opening day on the trap line.
Wow, that was a long one.
Wow, what happened with you? It's dark. Oh, no.
My heel, every time I'd step, my heel would go through it.
Now you gotta fix that.
That's a big project.
Want some coffee?
Tom needs to be out on the line at first light tomorrow to check his traps, so the snowshoe repair can't wait.
Yeah, those all have to come off.
And fortunately, Tom's brother Jack moved to the Yak Valley 2 years ago, which comes in handy when Tom needs an extra pair of hands. A new piece of rawhide woven tightly in the original diamond pattern restores both strength and flexibility.
There you go, Thomas. That'll keep you out of the snow.
It's a lot of hard work doing what I do, but it's what I am, you know. I've been doing this trapping for 50 years, you know, and I'm not done yet. Good deal, buddy. I've still got a long trapping season ahead of me.
Go ahead and get some sleep. You got some snowshoe to do tomorrow.
Looks like it. Love you, brother.
In the rolling hills of Montana's Yak Valley,
Oh, we got something here.
Veteran woodsman Tom Orr's got a knack for finding the fur,
He never knew what hit him.
even if he's a little out of practice.
This little male short-tailed weasel. First trap of the day.
Tom ran this 6-mile trap line for more than 4 decades. At 77 years old, he's not as agile as he used to be. So to make ends meet, he's covering all the bases.
We got one. Oh, the old conibear set.
First, by targeting low-hanging fruit like weasels.
This is a long-tailed weasel. Okay, buddy, come here. Ooh.
When Tom's done working on them, each $2 catch will be worth $100.
All right.
It's a good start,
Another male short-tailed weasel.
but not enough to keep them afloat.
At least we're catching something.
So his big push this season is to snare enough of the highest-priced pelts on the market.
I've got bobcat traps out, and that's what I'm really after is a bobcat.
We'll check those traps later on today, and hopefully we'll catch something.
With Tom back in the field, Nancy's stepping it up at home to keep up their quota of handcrafted items.
Well, I am going to make a brain-tanned buffalo hide coat. This is a hide that Tom worked very hard on. And these guys are a lot of work.
These signature goods multiply the value of a simple pelt and support the Orrs throughout the off-season. Bison hides are rare, and a hand-tailored fur-lined coat even rarer. With a thick fur providing some of nature's best insulation, it will fetch top dollar if expertly done.
You gotta watch your steps because you sure don't want to make a mistake. Measure many times and cut once. You cannot go down to the fabric store and order another 3 yards of brain tan and smoked buffalo hide. So it's not like you can replace it. I'm cutting outside my line for a seam allowance. That way I've got that much to do my stitching in. I hope I'm doing this right, because can't get another one.
It took Tom 10 days of work to flesh, brain tan, and smoke the buffalo hide, so they'll make use of every inch. The pieces will be stitched together into a one-of-a-kind overcoat worth more than $1,000.
Okay. I trim this hair back so that every stitch isn't dragging through that much hair. It's kind of like a puzzle. You just got to keep your eye on the pieces.
Back out on the line. Tom's got 3 weasels in his sled, but he can't make it through the winter on small furs alone. He's got to snare a bigger payday, so he's heading out to see if an unexpected opportunity has paid off.
I've got 2 wolf traps that I set the other day, hoping that the wolves would travel back the same trail as what they traveled through there. Well, I can see there ain't nothing in that trap.
Tom set a second trap to increase his odds, a few hundred yards from the first.
Oh, wow. There's a set of fresh wolf tracks in the snow. Oh, we've had some action here.
Just as Tom predicted,
Oh, wow.
the wolves returned to where he laid his trap.
It's empty. Trap set off without anything in it. Damn. I just missed him, which, that happens. I mean, at least if you missed one, there's some action. Wolves are hard to catch. When they walk through the snow and stuff, some of these suckers feel that trap pan go and have such a fast reflex that they jerk up from that. They're the hardest animal in North America to trap.
With a price tag of $1,000, a single wolf pelt would be a good insurance policy to kick off what's looking to be a tough season ahead.
They've walked this trail both ways. So we'll try it again, see if it works this time. Well, you never know when they'll be back, or, it all depends on where they're finding game, and so it's pretty complicated. Trap is set right underneath that track. So the next wolf that comes through here, if we don't miss him, we might get him.
Tom's had mixed results today, but he's got one more trick up his sleeve.
I'm gonna take this box right here. It's got bait in it. I'm gonna put a trap at each end and put bobcat lure in it so they'll smell it when they walk by in the trap.
A series of bobcat boxes he built by hand to target one of the priciest pelts on the market. But in trapping, there are no guarantees.
Nope, there's nothing there. I had one bobcat come up to one of my sets and walk right up to the entrance of it and sniff it over, and he decided that wasn't for him. I need to put some more lure in it. The lure is made out of glands of the animal that you're trying to catch. And if the cat gets close enough to the set to where he can smell that other cat, well, now here's a chance for this bobcat to steal this other cat's food. That's the object of the whole thing. Kind of bothersome that I haven't caught a bobcat, and those traps have been out in what I figured would be a really good area. Hopefully this will do something. That's the day on the trap line. 3 weasels was, it wasn't much, but I'll be working all night skinning them suckers. I've got to do something with that weasel to make him worth that. Weasels are a real process to just skin. They're easy to catch, but they're hard to skin because they're so small. I'm skinning out this weasel's foot, front foot. Most trappers, they whack all 4 feet off before they even start skinning. But we're gonna leave his little claws on the end of his foot. Make this into a $100 weasel instead of a $2 weasel. It's hard to make a living trapping anymore because the fur prices are so low. So lots of the stuff that I trap, I'll go ahead and tan it and make something out of it and sell it for way more money than I could sell the raw pelt. Very delicate work here. We got the skin off.
After fleshing the hide, Tom will let it dry overnight before brain tanning and mounting it for sale.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How'd it go today?
Pretty good. We caught some weasels. Didn't catch any bobcats, though.
Well, maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow, you never know.
I've been working on the old coat here.
You're right, how's that coming?
It's coming.
Good.
Twirling the fringe, and I'm real close to done with that. My last cuff stitch.
The last stitch, huh? All right. Proud of you. You did a good job on that.
Oh, thank you. You did a good tanning. What a team, huh?
What a team.
In Montana, a winter storm has buried the Yak Valley in 2 feet of fresh snow. And with animals bedding down to survive the cold, Tom Orr is taking the day off from his trap line to complete a lucrative craft with his friend Will Stringfellow.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey,
Tom.
buddy.
Did you give up on me?
How could I give up on you?
Will has 2 bow staves, trimmed and seasoned pieces of rare Osage orange wood. If they can be whittled into 4-foot recurve bows, they can fetch up to $500 a piece.
Here's what I've got here, Tom. This one here is...
But it's no easy task.
Tom's a great bow maker. I mean, he's well known for his bow making, and he's a master at it.
Make sure this is really crooked. I mean, you know, really crooked.
They're just half-made bows that have just kind of been whittled out to shape.
It's so bent.
But I think they were cut when they were green, and there was still moisture in them, and it put different crooks into the wood on them.
Well, you think you can straighten that?
Yeah, I think we can do it, buddy. Well, at least we'll give it a try.
Osage orange wood has been prized for centuries for its elasticity. It was used by French trappers as early as the 1600s. But shaping it to be a powerful and accurate tool takes time and precision.
We've got a fire pit, and we've got a 4-inch round pipe that has a steel plate welded to the bottom of it.
Are you ready?
We fill the pipe with water. You don't want to boil it, because if you boil it, then it comes out and puts out your fire. But it should be real close to boiling when you put the bow stave down into it. And then you can bend it to the shape that you want it to be bent to.
All right, let's go, boys.
Cold weather like this, it doesn't take very long to pull that out of the steamy water and start cooling down, you know, so you're getting it to the jig as fast as what you can get it to and hold it there.
Tom only has a few minutes to bend the wood on the primitive jig before it cools and is no longer pliable.
Right
We
toward it.
need a little bit more. Stick that back in.
Okay.
With this bow heating and bending deal, if you don't get it the first time, you do it again.
Once the grip is straight, Tom can focus on giving the bow its signature recurve shape, tips that bend towards the target.
It can be really hard to get them to be even.
Why don't you pull that out there and let me see what we can do with this.
If they're not perfectly symmetrical, the bowstring will not pull evenly, and the wood could crack.
Well, you got it holding pretty good. Pretty nice little recurve in it.
We get the first recurve tip on, and that looks good.
What do you think?
If we can do it to this end like that, then we got it.
All right. Well, good deal.
Yep, heat that sucker up one more time.
All right, here I come. So reheating it, hurrying back over, and getting it on the jig.
Come on, baby. Let's do it this time. We're counting on you. What's it look like now?
Oh, yeah.
Does it look straight?
Yeah.
Tip to tip?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that looks good.
Well, the big thing is put a string on it.
Deer sinew is an ideal material for a bowstring because it's both strong and flexible.
We're going to string it to make sure that it's tillered properly.
Hold that string.
Got you.
When the bow's strung, it should be in a perfect angle. But if one limb sticks down a little further than the other, well, then you're going to have to shave a little bit of it off to get the bow so it's square. First time stringing it, you want to be very, very easy with it, because when you pull that bow back and start putting pressure on it, it better be good or you'll end up with nothing.
What was that sound?
That was it. It broke.
Let's look at this.
On the recurve bow, they've put hours of labor into crafting.
I wasn't even quite to the knock yet with my string, and I heard that sucker crack.
There it is. Right there.
Yeah.
If they want to salvage any potential profits, they'll need a reliable fix.
All it is a little bitty surface crack. right in the middle, just above the handle of the bow, so it's in a spot that really don't take a lot of pressure or bending.
What do you think?
If we just put a layer or two of sinew across it, it'll keep it from breaking.
The sinew comes off of an animal's spine, comes right off the top of the back straps.
It'll make it more powerful than what it is now.
I like the idea. Doggone it, I was hoping we was going to be shooting those arrows by now.
I thought we would be too.
The only thing we can do now is sinew back the bow so it would reinforce this crack. I think we'll be able to save it.
All right, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna back the bow with glue. You're gonna get your hands messy.
The primitive glue that we use that's made out of boiled down buffalo hide scraps.
Boiling the buffalo hide releases protein colloids that, once condensed, create an industrial-grade adhesive.
We gotta get this real sticky.
You paint the back of the bow, and then you soften down strips of sinew, and string by string, you lay them strips of sinew out on the back of the bow and glue them down. Each time you run out a layer, you just glue it down. That'll keep that bow from ever breaking, I hope.
See if we can get it to go around this hole. Gotta measure twice, cut once. I'm gonna try to put a beaver handle, a beaver tail. This is a skinned out raw beaver tail. It's what they call rawhide.
I'll sew the beaver tail into place, and then the beaver tail will really dry out, and it'll shrink, and it'll tighten right around that bow, so it ain't going anywhere.
This whole operation here is pretty primitive.
In addition to the new handle, the spine of the bow has been reinforced with sinew and covered with the skin of a western rattlesnake.
All right. If it shoots as good as it looks, I think we've made it. All right, there's the deer, Will. Can you see it?
Yeah, barely. Okay, this will tell the truth here.
All right, is this straight?
Oh, yeah. Those are. I worked hard on those.
Yeah.
We've got a lot invested in this bow, so hopefully it's not gonna break or crack or anything. Pulling back on it, I'm listening to the wood, listening for any crack or noise.
Oh, nice.
That bow, when I first strung it and it made that cracking noise, I thought, wow, that's it. But as it turned out, we just kind of worked around that, and I think we've got it all repaired, and the bow shoots good.
Well, I tell you what, I like it. I want to make a quiver and bow case for it, maybe out of mountain lion, and then we've got some other bows.
Will's got a few more bows too we can work on, and we get a little spare time.
All right, thank you, buddy.
Primitive bows. Where else could you go buy a primitive bow at?
Yeah, that's right. It'll be a good sale. We'll make some money.
It's kind of a neat thing to do, to jump from trapping to finishing up a bow, you know. It keeps you from getting bored, I guess.
In Montana's Yak Valley, Tom Orr is taking it one day at a time.
Didn't catch a thing today. Didn't catch a thing.
To be safe, he's had to take a break from his partnership with Sean McAfee during the global pandemic. And while he's not having a lot of luck running his trap line alone, that doesn't mean Sean isn't helping out where he can. Yesterday,
What he's doing here.
Sean dropped off a potential jackpot.
Oh, look at that, huh?
What do you think,
All
man?
right, Sean.
A raw pelt from a wolf he trapped on his own. Once fleshed and tanned, it could be worth more than $1,000.
Pretty rare deal, right?
Yeah, pretty rare. They're mostly in museums.
After letting it soak overnight, Tom is now ready to get to work.
Soaked it in water to bring back its flexibility and stretch to it. Next thing is to flesh it. And scrape all this little flesh stuff all off this hide.
Fleshing a hide requires a razor-sharp blade and the steady hand of a master to scrape evenly without cutting through.
What we're doing is just taking the tissue out, little scrapings of meat and little pieces of fat. All right, we're gonna take her inside. Let's put it on the frame and see. Come on, get in there. This is a stretching frame. This is what we put the wolves on to stretch their hides out after they've been skinned. It's a big old wolf. Stretched out a pretty good size.
While it stretches, Tom will prepare the next critical step, a homemade brain tanning solution that helps soften the skin.
We need to get the brains boiled to tan the hide with. All right, we'll get back after it. Well, yeah, it looks like it's cooking. Let's check it and see.
Tom's working up a pot of a trapper's special recipe.
The Native Americans all said that's the famous thing, that every animal has enough brains to tan his own hide. Well, we'll find out. Well, let's use the wolf brains to tan the wolf hide with. A little bitty hole right there. Gotta get them brains out through that. That's where the spinal column goes up through and attaches to the skull. There's lecithin that are in brains, and that's what tans these hides.
Lecithin is a fat that's ideal for lubricating and conditioning the skin.
How they ever figured that out, all the things there is to rub into a hide to tan it, but it took thousands of years to figure that one out.
After Tom's extracted the brain matter, he prepares the skull to be boiled.
We get $200 for a nice wolf skull. We try to make as much money off of everything that we kill. Nancy will boil it, and she'll cook it all and clean it all off and then whiten the skull.
Hi.
I got something for you.
Oh, boy.
Well, there it is. I got the brains out of it, and I cut most of the meat off of it, and the lower jaws and the bottom here.
Okay.
So I separated that. Ready for the boiling.
Okay, I'll do that. I'm gonna put some baking soda in with this, and this kind of helps to pull the meat away from the bone, and it kind of whitens the skull.
The biggest thing you have to be careful about cooking this is to not overcook it. You don't want it to fall apart, and you don't want the teeth to fall out.
Starting to separate away from the bone.
Nancy's got a predator in the pot.
So you have to cook it without damaging it. All of this stuff is what you have to be careful of, and the teeth, that you don't overcook and lose those. And they're still together. All right, time to start picking the skull.
Once it's cleaned of all the remaining flesh, it'll be whitened and wired together for sale, where it's worth about $200.
This one. When you can pull it off, that's great. See how that's lifted away from the bone? And then there's a point where you need to slice a little. So you peel, peel, peel. Then you get down to where you gotta scrape, scrape, scrape.
Out back in the shed, the cooked brains are ready to apply.
The brains have to be worked all the way through the hide to the hair roots on the inside of the hide. I've tanned hundreds of deer skins, but this is my 5th or 6th wolf maybe that I've tanned. But I think I know enough we can pull this off. His tail's already starting to stretch and get whiter just from that one coat of brains. Look at it starting to suck them right in there.
Once dried and washed, the hide is then softened the hard way.
break it up to fibers in it. And you do it by just stretching him. I've got a hold of his ears right here, and I'm pulling his head across there. From now on, it's all hand pulling and working it.
There isn't nothing about brain tanning that isn't lots of work.
Can't be lazy and do this.
Most tanners don't have a very long life of tanning. Usually their shoulders go out on them from working hides and pulling them and stuff. So there aren't very many old tanners. I'll bet I'm one of the oldest going here, really.
We might have this beat though, boys. It sure feels good to me.
It's starting to come along now. Next, we need to get this hide on the smoker so we can have it all finished. The last thing that you do with a brain tanned hide is smoke it. If it's not smoked, to me, it's not even brain tan.
Once smoked, the wolf skin he's put hours into tanning could be his biggest payday of the season.
This is cedar that we're gonna put in here just to get this started. And then we're gonna switch to the old rotten cottonwood. The rotten stuff puts up more smoke.
When it gets dirty, you can throw it in the water and wash it. It comes out soft and clean and nice.
I guess we got her going anyhow. There's the smoke. All right, all we need now is a wolf hide. Put on this sucker. Look at it. Is that beautiful or what? Look at that thing. If that ain't a beautiful wolf, I ain't never seen a beautiful wolf.
A cloth skirt sewn onto the hide fixes it to the stovepipe to capture an even flow from the smoker.
We'll hang it over the smoker so the smoke goes up inside the hide and comes out the mouth. After 2 or 3 hours of that, it'll be sufficiently smoked.
Take it on smoke.
Every once in a while, you just untie your string, pick that skirt up, and look up into that hide and check out and see if it looks like there's enough smoke.
All right. I think we've got it.
I got a smoky wolf here.
Gosh, they're big. Look at that. Should we take this skirt off and
Yeah,
see what we got?
Yeah, see what we got there.
Isn't it something to think about packs of these big things running around out
I
there?
love it. I
You
love it
love
out
it.
there.
Oh,
She
good
is
color.
smoked.
Good color.
All right, and you got the skull done too.
I did. Here, check him out. Bit of a change. I know.
Well, congratulations. What a nice job you did
Yeah.
on that. Sean will be tickled to have that, I'll bet. Huh?
I hope so.
The art of brain tanning,
It was a lot of work.
Amazing critter.
but well, it's what I do. You know, this is what I enjoy. You know, so I'm happy with what I do and the life that I live.
Tom Orr's 42nd season in the Yak Valley has been one of the sparsest in memory.
Well, we're fixing to go and do some beaver trapping.
Now, with temperatures on the rise, he's making a push to finish strong and take advantage of every opportunity.
I got a call from this fella that lives up on the border there, and he's got a beaver problem.
Beaver are beneficial to the ecosystem, but if the population gets out of control, they wreak havoc by damming up streams and destroying trees. Fortunately for Tom, his reputation for trapping beaver is unrivaled.
I have no idea what I'm getting into. I don't know if the water's deep. I don't know. It may still be frozen solid. So I've just got to go up there and look it over.
Understanding ice conditions is key for trapping beaver in winter. Because it's a lot more work to chop through a frozen pond than it is to set traps in open water.
There's a good possibility I can't even trap it yet. Those are the chances you take.
The area is so remote that roads only take Tom so far.
I'm looking for the North Fork of the Yak River.
To reach the beaver ponds, he has to go the rest of the way on foot.
The river's got to be just over here somewhere. We got to be close. All right. The river. I see the river. Damn. I see the river and it's long. There's water running over it. Looks dangerous as hell. All right, here we go.
If he's to make it to the beaver ponds on the other side.
This is the worst time to trust the ice. Walk easy on it. Well, we got to cross the river. All right, let's go see if we can find them ponds. They must be up on that flat up there.
While navigating the thaw is dangerous, the conditions could be just what Tom needs to bring home some valuable pelts.
All right, there's the pond.
This is beaver habitat right here. Look at it. If that ain't beaver habitat, what is? If you can't catch a beaver here, you can't catch a beaver, I think.
Hoping for an area ripe with targets, Tom's brought a variety of traps.
All right, this is the trickery of the whole deal right here, boys. And this is what the beavers do. They come up on the bank, they'll grab a bunch of grass and mud off the bottom, they'll put it up here on the edge like this, and then they'll climb up on top of it, and they'll excrete this beaver caster onto it. Well, this beaver caster that I'm using here is from a different place. So now the beavers that live here, they'll come swimming along and they'll smell that. They got hell of a noses on them. He'll come here to check out this new guy in town. Piss him off, he'll be mad. He'll come to investigate it, and I bet you we'll have a beaver here. You can see the beaver dam here. Right in the middle of it is what they call the crossover. That's where the beavers cross the dam if they're going to go down below the dam. And it's usually a pretty good place to put one. This is what they call a dive stick. The object of it is the beaver will dive underneath these sticks, which will put him right into the trap. And the trap will clamp on him like that and kill him. That's the object of the 330 conibear, it's called. Get the safety off. All right, it's ready to fire now. I got a bunch of traps out today, and it's a long ways back to the house now.
Tom's laid out every trap in his arsenal, hoping to catch the motherlode of beaver on this remote stretch of the Yak River.
It'll do me good.
Now he's retracing his steps back to the truck.
Oh, look at that, huh? We got a beaver, boys. Looks like a nice one, too. Oh, we just set that trap 4 hours ago. I don't think this has ever happened to me where I set a beaver trap in the morning and come back in the evening of the same day and have a beaver.
It's unusual to get a bite in so little time, especially when trapping nocturnal animals that aren't as active during the day.
Had luck on my side. We might as well set this trap again.
The early catch is an unexpected bonus and a chance to double his luck in the same spot.
Come here, bud. Success already? That's a pretty good deal. I get to drag one beaver home with me tonight. I'll be looking forward to coming back and checking my traps in the morning. It's always exciting to wonder what's gonna happen the next day. Might be a big beaver day, boys. Ooh, we got one, boys. Success. We got a beaver. This is where I caught the one yesterday. Ooh, he's a big one. Oh. Nice head catch. That was that submerged trap with the dive stick, so he had to dive down and swim through it. That's close to 50-pounder. He's a big one. This is getting about as big as they come. All right, we got more traps to check. We got a trap in here. Ha, we got a beaver.
With 3 beavers snared in the same place, it looks like Tom's found the hot spot he was hoping for.
Don't look as big as the last one, but yet we're catching beavers here.
Tom's now sitting on $1,500 worth of fur and counting.
This is the end of the line right here. Hallelujah! We caught some beavers. All right, there's 2 beavers. Now I've caught 4 beaver today and 1 yesterday afternoon, so I've got 5 beaver. That's as many beaver as what I've ever caught in one day, I think.
Tom has not only put an end to the landowner's nuisance problem, he's scored a late winter bonus just when he needed it most.
All right, that's success. Things are looking up for Tom Orr.
Spring is coming soon to the isolated wilderness of the Yak Valley. And for the Orrs, that means it's time to go to market with all their winter wares.
Shall we fill the box?
Yes. Beavers?
Yeah. Normally what we've done over the years is we've worked our fannies off all winter, get ready for the rendezvous. We take all our stuff there and try to sell it all.
Rendezvous are trade fairs dating back to the 1800s, where Western trappers and craftsmen gathered to sell their goods.
We about got a full box here, man.
I see that.
How about that buckskin dress?
Oh, right. I really like this dress, though.
And while this year's rendezvous has been canceled by the pandemic, the community is coming together with a new plan.
Want one of these wolves?
Yeah.
Boy, they're big.
My buddy Will Stringfellow has been working on this trading post now for a couple of years. It's not completely finished yet, but I think it's going to be a new way for us to be able to sell the items that we make. We're going to try it out, see what happens. Yeah.
I'll get some more stuff going here.
The neat thing about it, it's not just me that's bringing stuff to Will's, but a lot of people that do, a lot of artisans that do this old-timey stuff will help supply the trading post. All things from the past. Stuff you could never find in a modern-day trading post. Hey. Are you ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
All right. It's going to be a heck of a trading post.
Yeah, yeah.
Will broke ground on the trading post last year, but there's still a lot to do to get it ready for business.
We're going to chink these logs that haven't been chinked yet. There's still lots of work to be done on the trading post.
Just like mortar to brick, Chinking creates a seal between logs that can expand and contract as temperatures change.
So what Will's done, he's packed it with insulation, and it's been chinked on the outside over the insulation. And now we're going to chink over the inside, so that'll make the building more warm.
Historically, chinking was made with a mix of mud or clay.
One of the things I've done before is work it
Right?
with the backside of this spoon.
Yep.
But today, an acrylic compound is used that's far more durable and forgiving.
If you just squirt a little water on it, it makes it so you can smooth it out a lot better. This is the new modern chinking, really. It's the new material for an old technique. Just back here and take a look at it.
Appreciate your help on this. It looks good. Maybe move on to the next project, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, these suckers are heavy.
Are they?
Yeah.
We're going to start putting some ceiling boards upstairs because all the ceiling's all still exposed with fiberglass.
Got it?
Yep.
The lumber that we have for the ceiling is mostly red fir.
See what we got here.
They came from a local mill. They're just beautiful.
Hey, well, Will and I were working a fanny's off on the trading post. All right. Yeah, can you nail it?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
All right, Tom.
We got one up there. Yeah, all right. I think it's going to be a good thing.
The new trading post has a new ceiling,
Oh, you want to just set it on the floor here?
Yeah, Toby.
and Will is helping Tom unload a winter's worth of hard work.
Oh, looks like a lot of goodies.
We got some stuff.
Got the old kid bow there, huh?
Yeah. Where should we hang it?
Just wherever you think.
The new trading post may be far from the crowds,
Nice wolf.
Here's a bobcat.
but it's the best chance Tom and Nancy have during the pandemic
Coyote.
to make back what these pelts and crafts are worth.
Nancy and I didn't go to Rendezvous last year because of the pandemic. We stayed home and tanned and kept doing our projects and stuff. But that's where the trading post is going to help us a lot because we'll be able to sell it almost the year round.
Oh, what do you got here?
Oh, this is that buffalo hide coat that we made.
I can't believe Nancy let you escape with that.
Yeah, really.
The buffalo hide coat is one of the rarest items in the box.
Nancy had told me 10 days to tan it, 17 hours of hand stitching.
Because of the painstaking work, it's also the most valuable
It's still got its tail on it.
and could fetch more than $1,000.
The buffalo hide coats, they're always good sellers because they don't come like that anymore. These are turkey wing bone. This is made out of the 3 wing bones in a turkey's wing. They're boiled down, cleaned out. They're hollow, and it's just rawhide, so it shrinks real hard and holds it all together. It took a lot of bones around the campfire before they figured that one out, I'll tell you. And hopefully it'll work out good for us. We're getting quite a collection going here. Starting to come along now. Bear skin, little cinnamon there. Well, there's some throwing tomahawks. You got a bunch of them.
One of the things I want to do, I'll set up a throwing block out there,
Right.
and we'll have contests. And, you know, I'd like for this trading post to be an active trading post. I want them doing something, talking about history. And this trading post, it's going to be really nice, especially for the people here who need a place to sell their goods. And then there's always people that come to visit Yak Valley and, you know, they want to go somewhere and see some of the local people and crafts. And that's the really cool thing about it.
Nice. You got stuff in the back?
I got stuff from our house and a few things from Jack and Connie.
All right.
All right. This is nice, you guys.
Yeah, it's working out nice.
Oh, there's a lot of work in here.
Nancy and Tom have been in the primitive craft business for nearly 40 years, but they still appreciate every item
Water.
and the unique story it has to tell.
Beadwork beyond belief. A lot of hours of stitching, trap and tanning, and then they move on. But that's what they're for.
Hey, hey,
All right.
what do you think of that?
Nice.
Is that in the middle?
Your way just a tad.
Okay,
Okay, that's good.
all right.
This is kind of a whole new little chapter of a good thing.
Yeah.
After the year with everybody's had.
Yeah.
You know, kind of a fresh beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, should we go home?
Okay. Yeah. It's really been a big challenge this year. Hope we don't have to ever go through it again. Hopefully everything's gonna work out all right. And I think it's gonna, hell, it is. It's gonna work out right. It's gonna.